Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition, and the markets have been tumbling. Thanks a lot, Jerry. So Jerome Powell is chilling in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, 76 degrees, and has no cares whatsoever about our at-risk markets, crypto, the stocks. He doesn't care. All he cares about is bringing down inflation. So he made that very clear in today's statement. The markets reacted adversely, as one might expect. And so this is going to be the new normal, probably for, I don't know, some period of time, weeks, months. Now the market might adapt and then start to trend back up once this bad news is absorbed, but I'm not sure. Bitcoin, well, let's go to the chart. Okay, you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
Thank you. We're still in this range that I drew several weeks ago, 18.8 on the bottom, 24.4 on top, and we're past the middle of the range, heading down towards 20K. So I'm not sure if 20K is going to survive this weekend. That's disappointing. I consider bringing up some news events, but I think we all know the news of the day, or most of us do. So yeah, it's the meeting we had, or the casual meeting, pushing or keeping the interest rates high for the foreseeable future until inflation returns to 2%. So what do we do? How do we trade this? Anyway, obviously, Bitcoin's down 4.5%. Ethereum, down over 8%. It's approaching the halfway mark between its range, between 1980 and 1000. So again, not sure how Ethereum's going to hold up. We do have the merge coming up, and that's been pushing the price up, but I don't know if that's going to keep it from dropping considerably lower in light of this new economic news. So any comments about the overall markets, Bitcoin and Ethereum? Shoot, I thought you guys would want to chime in on this. Okay, well, how do we trade this? I mean, as day traders, I like to pull off 2 to 5% on each trade, but when the overall market is this uncertain, it can be daunting. I spoke last week of just a no trade zone. One could argue that we're still in that, and maybe you don't want to trade tonight and over the weekend. I'm just going to set my standards higher. Instead of putting alerts on the 15-minute chart, like I like to, go to the 30-minute or the 1 hour. If you're looking for longs, be ready to go in small, either set stop losses or preserve capital for dollar cost averaging or ladder buying. So that's one approach. I considered going with the chandelier exit trend trading and suggesting that those of you who trade leverage might want to stick with shorts for a while. But I think I'm just going to keep it simple and stay with the approach I usually do, and that's more of a dip trading approach, a retrace and a recovery. So with that in mind, let's look at Altcoin Alert and see if we can find some options. So as we know from the last couple times we've spoken, the AA score has been made more sensitive, so there are a lot more tokens qualifying. We have 186, either very bullish or bullish. Well, actually just bullish. There are no very bullish tokens because nothing is over 80. So, and my standard is 80 or higher on the AA score for me to want to take a second look or a more in-depth look. We don't have that today. So on the plus side, something is dethroned. XCM, Synthetics has the highest AA score, 77.1. But again, I'm looking for 80, usually 85 in more of a bullish market, but I'm not seeing that. So I'm going to go over to my second favorite sort. That's the long-term sentiment sort. We've got 31 very bullish or bullish tokens. I'm going to match this up with the Elder Impulse daily. Quick review, long-term sentiment is just like it sounds, a sentiment, what people are talking about, the Twitter data. I'm going to match that up with the Elder Impulse, which is a technical indicator. You can hover over these question marks to find out what these really, or what's involved with these. So we have Binance Coin, BNB, very bullish and bullish. Bluezell, Ethereum. So, I mean, Binance and Ethereum I trade all the time. So let's go ahead and I've got both of those up. Let's look at Ethereum first. Get down over to a chart I'm more inclined to look at for a day trade evaluation. We've talked about it many times. Most of the coins have dropped 80–90% since late last year. Some showed signs of recovery at various times throughout this year. Certainly Ethereum has lately, and then dropping the last few days. On the 1 hour, pretty significant drop since the 14th, lost 20%, was recovering and then dropped again today. On the 5-minute, Squeezeville. Yeah, less than 2% between the Bollinger Bands. So I don't see an entry there. In a more normal market, I would suggest putting potentially a price alert, below support, probably around here, around 1530, but you probably get that hit in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Then I would recommend going to the 15-minute chart for alerts on divergence, or two of my favorite indicators, the money flow index, relative strength index, MFI, RSI. I also put the MACD back on instead of the stochastic RSI, just for confirmation. But again, in light of current events, I think we should go to at least the 30-minute for confirmation. And looking at and bear in mind, this is a repainting indicator, so you have to keep that in mind, but it is alert friendly. I've also added this one here, the multiple divergences, non-repaint. So I tend to match those up when I'm relying on divergence to evaluate a trade. Click that one off for now. Last couple divergences, well, obviously Ethereum's been falling today and late in the day yesterday, so they didn't do that well. This one wasn't bad. Yeah, actually that was pretty good, 4% in an hour. So some of these have had some success on the bullish side. So until today, we hadn't had a bullish divergence since the 21st, a few days ago. So I might be looking at my MFI. I like it when it drops below 20, the oversold area, and then bounces back up. I just showed you that happened here. RSI responded the same way. And this one here, it just dropped. It did pump up a little bit and then just kind of flopped over. So those are the really only two examples I see on an MFI or an RSI alert and recovery. So I might just go with, you can do a confirmation alert too. And I do that with some frequency. Might do an alert on divergence, positive divergence, once per bar close. And I like to put the information source, which in this situation would be a long-term sentiment buy. And then when that triggers, I'll look at my MFI or my RSI and then do a secondary alert. Let's say if I use the MFI crossing up 20 or higher, well, 20 actually. Once per bar close. I call this my confirmation alert. So if those two go off, I feel, within say half an hour to an hour of each other, I feel that that trade has potential. But again, based on current events, go in small. Again, look at your support and resistance and use either a stop loss or a DCA approach, dollar cost averaging, and see how this one plays out, or just don't trade this weekend. That might be me. Any questions on Ethereum? Okay, let's look at BNB. BNB has been over 300 most of the week, or hanging around there, but dropped today. On the day chart, yeah, it was well over 400 as recently as April. On the 1 hour, had this nice move from the 20th. 10%, not bad, and gave that up today. In the 5 minute, looks like it's going into a dip sequence. Qualify as a single dip and a 1, 2, 3 dip. But again, be extra cautious with your dip trading at this time. Okay, instead of the 15 minute for my indicators, go to the 30. And we're in a 1, 2, 3 dip on the 30. These don't happen very often. 1, 2. We haven't gotten the third dip yet. You see the bubble here and the dips. So I would probably go with, let's see what divergence looks like. A lot of bullish divergence and didn't really do much. This one did pretty well. Yeah, over 3% on that one, but more often than not, it's going negative. And then we only have 2 instances where the MFI dropped. This one's not bad. 2%, and this one's still at play, but trending down. It's pretty bleak out there, guys. It's gonna be the same situation. Probably I go with divergence alert. And confirmation alerts with the MFI or the RSI. Pretty similar to Ethereum that we just looked at. Any questions? Okay, so let's say we think the market's going to go down, and I know at least half the people on this call probably trade leverage on Bybit, Binance, something like that. So let's look for something to short, and we might want to go with a trend-based indicator for that. I mean, we can go the opposite. We can look for bearish divergence. Actually, let's find a coin first. So there's a couple ways you can do this with Altcoin Alert. You can sort the AA score, look for a bad one. But it has to be a token that is on an exchange that you can trade on leverage. And I don't know if any of these are. Plus Mina and Keep have looked the same for weeks. I think they've merged into something else, but each week I tell myself I'm going to look into that and then I forget. Another way to do this is to sort on long-term sentiment and look for coins that are bearish on both. We've got quite a few of those: Litecoin, AVAX, FTX, Dash, Gala. I think most of these you could short these on an exchange. And I was able to get into my BitGet exchange today, so I had to use my phone number instead of my email. Who knew? So that is leverage exchange that's available to Americans until the SEC sniffs it out and shuts it down, probably. But anyway, let's look at Litecoin. Okay. Craig says, yay. All right, on the, well, you know the drill at this point. I'm on the 30-minute chart. I'm looking for shorts. I might go 15 because I'm thinking that's more likely to happen than a long. So, and the shorts have done pretty well. Yeah, you know, 2.5% there. I mean, you could take your short here. Pivot there is about 1.28%. You know, get out here at 1.95%, hold on a little longer to here, 3.1%. You know, those are good shorts there. So I kind of like that. Could also go with, you know, the opposite of what we talked about with the 20 and the oversold, go with the 80 and the overbought. We got two instances here on the MFI where it shot up, get that red candle and a big drop, you know, 7%, stand longer, get almost 9% on that one. So you can go with your divergence. Negative is already there. Long-term sentiment. I might just keep that one on. You might just want to go two alerts because I don't know if we're going to get, if the market just trends down hard, we may not get much of a retrace. So if you want to short and you want to use more of a trend-based approach, you know, I've talked about the chandelier exit. There's a super trend, the half trend. There's a lot of trend-based indicators on TradingView that can help you with that. Type in trend and look at all these. You know, I've tinkered with most of these in some capacity for some length of time over the last couple of years. Obviously, I put stars by a lot of them, but that doesn't necessarily mean I believe in them at this point. This is the one I've been using lately, the H-lot, high and low optimized trend tracker, but just for a couple days. So I'm not really going to talk about it other than to tell you that I've been tinkering with that. So I haven't found one that I like enough to really talk about in any detail. So I'm not going to do that, but if you're looking for a trend-based indicator, that's a good place to start. And then back to our MFI and the RSI, add an alert, crossing down instead of up. Go with 80 instead of 20. Once per bar close, that's going to be our long-term sentiment. Or, you know, if you do this after the alert goes off for divergence, you could use this as a confirmation. So we're not there yet. And then the RSI, do a triple one. Crossing down, value is 70. It's the overbought area, once per bar close. Okay, went through that kind of fast. Any questions on a Litecoin short? Okay. There's another option on Altcoin Alert brought to my attention by my friend Robert. Not sure if he's on tonight. But he likes to sort by the 24-hour change. So there's a couple ways to interpret this. When you see something pumping up, especially on a day like today, you know, maybe due for a retrace, that could be something you can short, or you can buy strength and catch the trend. So if I'm looking for a trend on this, I probably flip it around, look for something negative, but not too negative. So instead of something in double digits, like 15, 20% down, maybe something that's 7 or 8% down, and thinking that still has room to move down if the overall market's going down. So I've scrolled down here to look for something in the 8% range. Gala also has very bearish all over the place here. So let's look at Gala, see if we can short this. Okay, on the 15-minute chart. We have one bearish divergence earlier today. It had a nice move down. We haven't had any MFI values above 80 since yesterday in the wee hours of the morning, and then no RSI values at all up there. So if you're going to use this, you might want to go with the trend-based alert. Otherwise, go ahead and use your divergence. And we've been through that a couple times, so I'm not going to bother go through it now. Negative divergence on the 15-minute chart. If you're concerned about you're doing a short and then have it bounce up on you, you might want to go with the 30-minute instead. Yeah, there's a really nice move off the 30-minute divergence from early yesterday morning. But again, if divergence relies on a retrace back to the positive, if you don't think that's going to happen, then this isn't the right approach for you. You probably won't be trading this weekend. You might want to go with something more trend-based. Or you can just look at the charts. We haven't talked about this yet. Put on a longer time frame, say the 4-hour, and go, where is it likely to go if it does drop? I mean, the last support is from here in late July, around 4.5 cents on Gala. So that would be about a 7.5% move if that kind of thing happened. Sometimes I just if I'm pressed for time and I want to put maybe a buy order in, sometimes I'll just look at a chart like this, and for a lot of traders this is enough. So you have some support here and some more support in this vicinity, about the same place. That's a pretty good support level for Gala. So that would be a potential exit for your short trade. What I've been doing lately, I'm trying to catch bigger moves, is let's say I put a short in here and then maybe halfway down, I'll do an alert, and this is my stop loss protect profit alert. So I put a stop loss in profit, so now my trade is risk free. And instead of putting just a sell order, actually a buy order on a short, I put another alert here saying, you've hit your goal. What do you want to do? You want to hold longer? Or do you want to exit? So usually in that situation, I put a very tight stop loss. It almost always takes me out, but every once in a while it keeps going. So, okay, any questions on Gala? Well, that's about all I have for Altcoin Alert and trading tonight and this weekend. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? The market overall? Any of the trades we talked about, or any other coins you want to look at?
Market overall down till September.
It is down. I didn't quite catch that though. Who was?
That was me. I said overall probably down till September.
Yeah, I mean, September is historically a pretty bad month for the markets anyway. So I was going to put a calendar item, short September, and just look for shorts the whole month. But that's it's a bit simplistic. So I'll probably still do some of the charting things I just showed you guys, but probably with a bias towards the short side. And you know, Terry, who's on tonight, does a really good job of charting you know, the markets on larger time frames to get the general direction or the overall direction. So you might want to check him out. All right, then if that's the case, if there's no other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If you're on the recording, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully we see you live next time. Check out the opportunities in the comments below. They help support the channel. If you're in Carbon, feel free to stick around. We're gonna start that Zoom in a few minutes. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next time.